segment we all play video games.
I just want to be able to get into a game that isn't like, I just want, like, I'm about to play like Stardew Valley. Like, I just need like a relaxing game that isn't sweaty, where I'm not playing like competitive multiplayer and I'm not playing a campaign that's just kicking my ass.
We should continue this on the podcast because I love Stardew Valley.
Well, we're here, aren't we?
We are here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Backline Podcast, Episode 3. Woo! I'm your host, Chief Redbeard, Billy, whatever you want to call me. And I'm here, as always, with my two good friends.
Well,
Nico.
Damn it, they got it right this time. Look at that. Hello.
should I just be like, Nico? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I want to start off this week by saying a big thank you to anybody that shared or commented on any of the posts about the podcast. We're up over 60 subscribers in just a few short weeks, so that's awesome.
Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dad.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Thanks, everybody. Anybody that's commented, shared it personally on their pages. The support means everything. Keep it up. Let's try to keep it going. Spread the word.
The word is the bird.
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word. Also, just to let everybody know, podcasts will be available on YouTube at 9 a.m. every week on Wednesdays. And then for anybody that listens to it in the car, on the way to work, anything like that,
Don't do it on YouTube.
It will be available at 6 a.m. on all the other streaming platforms: Spotify, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio. And there was a few other small ones. If we're not on your favorite platform, please comment on any of our pages, mainly the YouTube or any posts that we share, and we'll see what we can do about getting those on your favorite podcast outlet.
We don't know if you don't let us know, basically.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
let us know.
And that's 6 a.m. Eastern, not that.
6 a.m. Eastern,
Just
for any
to
of
be
you
specific,
Western
I guess.
folks that want to listen to our stuff.
Chime in.
But yeah, so I actually want to get started today. I think I do every time, but I'm going to say that again. So got a story about a man named Rob Chapman.
Yep.
So Rob Chapman is a huge YouTube kind of sensational
Big
kind
personality
of guy.
while
Big
also
personality
owning
online.
a guitar
Yep.
company.
So he has over 700,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Is that current or recent?
Yes.
Then
I like recently.
it dropped.
It probably
definitely dropped.
And we'll talk about it and why it probably dropped.
Real quick, who is this person?
So Rob Chapman, that's what I'm explaining.
the UK.
Rob Chapman is from the UK. He's UK based. He is a guitar player. He's played in some bands that are probably more popular in the UK.
Hello.
But he does have a
Chip.
huge US presence, and I'll explain how.
More recently.
But he was a guitar player in bands, and actually was one of the kind of kickstarters to artists starting their own guitar companies.
Yeah.
So some people like Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders started his own. Ola England, who's just
Making
YouTube
Solar.
guy with Solar guitars. They're awesome guitars so far from, it looks like, both companies. But Rob Chapman really started with Chapman Guitars. Launched this huge company. Right now, he is pretty much exclusive in the U.S. to Guitar Center. But you can obviously go online, order basically whatever Rob Chapman guitar you want. And then he's got some artists to help back him up, like Rabia Masad, who's another YouTube guy.
Great guitar player.
Great guitar player. Love his writing. But Rob has been in the news since about Christmas.
Hello.
The music news. For doing some weird stuff. So it's a weird story. So basically, the backline of this story is
Backline. Check it out.
Wow.
Backline.
Title card.
YouTube.com/backline.
apparently Rob Chapman around the Christmas time was threatened because somebody basically said, you won't donate to ALS.
That was a long time ago.
It was a while back, and somebody kind of called him out on it and said this. So then basically what the story was they said, hey, you should do the ice bucket challenge. Or maybe he posted and said, hey, I won't be doing the ice bucket challenge. Basically, he said, I think they've made enough money, but I will be doing something called the Chappers Challenge, which is his kind of name. He's on a YouTube channel also with Andertons, which is a huge music online store
They're
for the
the Sweetwater of the UK.
They're the Sweetwater of the UK for sure.
Which Sweetwater is a
music store as well.
There you go.
In the U.S., the best.
Hello.
One of the best online music stores.
Welcome
out
to
there.
Sweetwater.
So he does videos with them, and his name is, or his YouTube even personality is Greetings Chappers.
Okay.
That's my thing. So basically he said, I'm going to do this Chappers Challenge. And basically the Chappers Challenge was, I'm going to get some artists to create some, #1 hits, so to speak. And then with those hits, anytime that we basically get a hit, I'm going to donate a guitar to an orphanage, kind of spread the music kind of thing. And somebody was like, not really cool. Like, the Ice Bucket Challenge, it's a big thing. So this is like 2014 is when all this was going on. So somebody recently, a small channel from KDH Guitars, it's a YouTube channel, kind of called him out and said, hey, this is dumb. And then kind of was like, I don't think you actually donate to anything. And he said, look, I've done this. So it turned into a whole big thing because basically he threatened this very small channel that had,
He's
I
like,
think
I
at
will
the
shut you
time,
down,
less
basically.
subscribers than we even have, and said,
Zero? Less than zero?
less than zero.
How do you go less than zero?
He had negative subscribers and basically said, I'm going to take my huge audience and I'm going to use that power against
smother
you
you.
unless you take this stuff down. So in my research, apparently he did this at Glenn Fricker too, the same small channel, but Glenn Fricker took it well.
Yeah.
Talked about paid promotions and stuff like that. Glenn Fricker said, here's what I have as far as who endorses me as far as promotions.
I don't know if Rob Chapman just had a bad day that day and it's carried on, but
So
yeah.
basically what happened is Rob Chapman came out around the Christmas time, and he has said this recently, acted like a child and said, this is what I do. I've got the power. I've been trying to protect certain people. So for example, there was another US based guitar company where he started with called Riff City Guitars, and said, look, we had all these brands in there, PRS, Boss, this and that. And none of those people try to save this guitar store, but my company did. Riff City called him out and said, hey, no, that's not what happened.
This is after they've already got bankrupt too.
Correct. They're already out of business. They said, basically, we paid for, yes, you did provide your guitars to us. Yes, we were the only ones. Yes, you made us one-offs.
But
however,
we had to pay for you to come.
We had to pay for you to come. You're saying that you did clinics for free.
No.
I would hope that you wouldn't charge us for your free promotion to come out and do these clinics.
It wasn't free.
But they paid for his travel. They paid for his hotels.
He's gotten their
everything.
posts deleted every time that they had to keep reposting it until they had to find like a third party outlet of just being like, this is what we said. He's bullshitting. Here's the truth.
So he claimed this was charity, and then he went and made a list, like basically a rider, which is saying like, this is what I want to come up here and do this one
Correct.
thing, and that included
Correct.
all-
Well, the charity was a different thing, but this is Sim saying this is how I saved this online or
And he just
whatever
brought that
Was
up.
that- he didn't even
brought
say
it
it.
up.
He was kind of like, it's unfortunate that they went under, but it's whatever. I tried my best, and then they're like,
they came
technically
back.
we got under because of you. But the thing is, the worst part is he didn't go through with them. They paid all this money to help him come out to America, and then Guitar Center noticed and was just like, hey, we'll do it. And he was like, oh, screw you, Riff City. I'm gonna go with Guitar Center. And they're like, we just paid all this money, and what the.
Well, as I understand it too, they were basically done, and then at that point, once they were kind of done, on the cusp of being done, that's when he switched over to Guitar Center. But through all this too, there was a which people are assuming it's a fan of his, commented on the small YouTuber's channel and said, hey, do you still affiliate with such and such school? We live basically in your city. This guy's Australian Scottish. I couldn't quite pick the accent because I'm terrible with accents, but he asked the guy, like, if you're still here, and then also, how did your statutory rape charge turn out?
Whoa.
So Rob Chapman,
He's like, whoa.
Rob Chapman commented on that and was like, the dude's name was Adam something. He said, Adam, holy shit, which was also like, like you co-sign on your friend, like, holy shit, I can't believe you just did that. That's crazy. That's awesome at the same time, because I'm not saying that's a bad thing, which he didn't. So a lot of people blew the fuck up over that, called him out and was like, Rob, what are you doing? Like, you cannot be doing this kind of stuff. Like, you've got people making threats. So Rob came out, like I said, he made this childish video and said, people are threatening my family. They threatened to stab my dog, all this crazy stuff.
Well, death threats on the internet are a thing, yeah.
Right. So basically, all in all, after all this, Will Bob and I have been discussing
It's been on
that
and off,
we have
yeah.
not seen. We've discussed it on and off, but we have not seen him on that Anderton's channel, which
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
no, they're not
huge
associated.
online guitar community.
No association. No.
If I can't find a video that I'm looking for somewhere, chances are it's on Anderton's, on anything that I'm looking for. So we noticed
Bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah,
Bless
sorry.
you, Nico the
I
sneezer.
held it in. My brain's exploding.
Oh yeah, don't do that. That's
Sorry.
unhealthy.
So
Go ahead.
basically, we've been saying we think
Let it out.
Anderton's wrote him off, like he's done. So I just found out a few days ago, I saw Captain Anderton, as he calls himself, which is the
captain?
host of the show, the owner of the store. He posted a video and threw a Chapman Guitars cup in front and said, I've got a little announcement. And then Mr. Chappers, Rob Chapman, comes in and says, I'm back. I'll be doing videos. We are still friends. We have been friends. Everything is good. And then he came out with an apology video for his attack video, basically saying, I was a child.
What?
I made some
This is
terrible
good to me.
mistakes. I've had to think about this. This was basically a bad idea. So he basically apologized for being a piece of shit. And then he realized that, you know, he does have that power that he talked about.
Yeah, but
and
he was
that online
abusing it.
community really attacked this kid. And the kid almost had he basically hid the video for a while. It's back up now. I think that things have kind of
It also
sort
helped him
over.
expand too, because I remember seeing him having a rebuttal video.
He's
after
got
the fact.
he's got more subscribers now and everything, you know, because people pick sides at that point. Are we on Chapman's side or are we on everybody
on the
else's
victim side.
So basically, he posted the video, said he's truly sorry about his tone of the apology video, and he basically air quoted that and said it wasn't really an apology video. I felt like I was childish. I was very arrogant in the video. Basically, I felt sad and powerless because, to be fair to him, his brand was attacked and his name was attacked. For somebody who's out there, he was attacked, and then he takes full responsibility. But I thought it was crazy because we were literally just saying, I think he's done. He's never going to come back because there's another guy on the channel that's been with the captain on the Andertons videos.
I love him, Danish Pete.
Danish Pete, great guy, great guitar player. And now Rob Chapman is apparently going to be coming back on the videos. So the good thing is that Chapman brand's out there. Some of my favorite people do play his guitar. Some of my favorite YouTubers out there.
Including
So
Rabia.
including Rabia, Rob Scallon.
Rob Scallon.
So I am excited to see that hopefully his name will get better again. He still has a huge online community.
There's a big reputation PR stunt he's got to pull.
Right. So luckily
get
it
some
seems like
positive.
the video seemed genuine. I haven't seen really too much reactions. Came out a couple weeks ago. But we'll see
It's
how
gonna
it
be
works.
a slow burn. I mean, this has been going on for so long that people are kind
In
of
almost
done with
3
it.
months, but in 3 months, a lot of shit happened. and a lot of
Yeah,
people
like I said,
commented
the
on it.
fire has died down, and it's just embers, and it's like it's being recirculated with this news, and I don't think a lot of people really care until they really get some definitive proof whether Chapman is really sorry, or if he's really going to change, stop using his influence and power over people and stuff like that. I welcome it. The guy was awesome. Nothing against him. It's just this kind of stuff. It just looks awful on your
One
part.
of those things, you see it, like you're a huge influencer, you're a YouTuber, you've got a big brand, you've got so much going for you. I mean, he did act like a child, and he came out and basically attacked.
To play the devil's advocate, the guy worked so hard to get to that point, and he just had that one little,
That's true,
hissy
but
fit.
just like-
He was just kind of like, I worked this hard to get this far.
That's the thing people have to understand. Like, if you're going to be an online person, if you're going to be an online personality, if you're going to be huge in online community,
You got to have.
there's going to be some asshole out there that's going to talk shit about you.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, especially with almost 1 million subscribers.
I mean, the worst part is
Somebody
he's
doesn't
big
like
enough,
you.
but he's not going to be big enough to pay for someone to kind of collect his thoughts and make coherent, statements for
Right.
anything.
No,
It's
if
just
some of
him.
the-
It's him raw.
If
That's him
somebody
raw.
huge came out and was like, hey, fuck Rob Chapman, like Boss or one of his artists or something like that, but it was a fucking YouTuber with less than 100 subscribers that came out and said, I don't like this. And he did it, and apparently it's kind of a joke, but kind of like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. I think this is bullshit, but at the same time, take it how you want. And he took it like the dude was sitting right in front of him, punch him in the fucking face with all these comments that he made. But I think you just got to be careful with doing stuff like that. You shouldn't do that. And the dude's like 40, 50 years old, whatever.
We just got to give it some time, wait and
Like,
see what happens.
He did act like a child,
He's got to
but
keep his nose clean.
I'm excited that things are coming out again.
Dude, it's honestly this. I don't have the clout or the fame or the exposure that these YouTubers do, but it's tough. Like seeing they have to go through the comments and they have to see all the feedback, instant feedback, and on social media.
Oh, I'm sure
so
your phone blows
it's
up.
like you can ignore 99% of all the negativity, that's out there.
Some of them
and then
won't
that
stick.
one thing, it's just going to stick you so hard and it's going to really rub you the wrong. And you're like, I have to rebut. I have to say something.
Like, I feel personally attacked.
It's like, how much of that can you take? So I kind of sympathize a little bit. I am not familiar with this story whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't follow this. I've never heard of this guy. How long has he been around?
Years.
Really? I mean, not that long. I mean, it's
No,
like,
I think he's been around since the 90s at least.
oh, as a band, yeah, or
yeah,
artist,
Rob
yeah,
Chapman,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Been on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yes, on YouTube.
I mean, he's got almost 1 million subscribers. He's been around for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably at 1 million at
I
one
didn't
time.
look at when his
because of
member
this whole publicity,
was, but
it hit him
yeah.
hard. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's tough. I'm sure it's tough, and he just. I think everybody has a moment, especially when it's so easy. And he's probably. I'm assuming he's working with himself and the camera.
Oh, for sure.
And he could just make a video, upload it, and then, bam, done. And then it's over. It can be over like so quickly nowadays.
Do you think at that big of a scale though? Like, would you pay attention? I mean, let's say you were that big. Would you find that one small YouTuber video and really give that much shit about
You can't
it?
put it like that. You'd have to be like, hey, this guy's coming at you. He's a small channel, by the way, but he just made false accusations of you doing this kind of action. What would you do?
I can't even begin to think like with even close to 1 million subscribers, how that might affect me mentally. So I couldn't say. I don't know.
You're trapped in a room. You're the only one with a gun. No.
I guess that's how he saw it then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
Like, I have the gun. I have the authority.
That's definitely how he seems at one point to have thought about it, and then I think it sounds like he let his real thoughts kind of come out and exude,
Right.
And then he regretted it.
I just think at that big, like you're gonna see it. Even at a smaller channel, somebody could comment on even our shit tomorrow and go, "This shit sucks." Okay, then don't watch it. If you don't like it, don't care about it. I mean, I get why he was upset, to be attacked
The same
like
reason why I
that,
said,
but
why would
at the same
people-
time, it was such a small YouTuber. He even made a comment on there and said, "Hey, had he interviewed me," which other YouTubers are like, "Look, we don't have near the subscribers we have, but this is basically what we do, and I don't have the time to interview with any little person out there." Not that this guy was little, but just like if I talked to every single person that commented
His
on my
channel would just be
page,
that.
that's all I would be doing. I wouldn't be able to make videos.
So did you
anymore.
think it was a lapse in judgment?
On his
do you
part?
think? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I would have never known about it, and I think most people wouldn't have had he not made that video. A lot of these things that apparently happen or he talked
bit
shit
his
about.
own foot too
We're in
many times.
2014, 5 years later, he's like, some YouTubers like, hey, this is some stuff that happens. Like, even 5 years after the fact, like, okay, it was 5 fucking years ago. So what if I didn't donate? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But he took it so to heart and was like, oh, fuck you. I'm way bigger than you. You're fucked now. You just
You're a
picked with
peasant.
the wrong YouTuber here. Like that's kind of shitty, Like
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
Like,
PewDiePie, one of the biggest YouTubers out there.
Oh, he's done-
somebody talks shit about him, he's gonna make a joke out of it. He doesn't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
He's done crazy stuff. But anyway, moving on, I just want to say there's a game that came out, and it's going to be last week when this comes out. But Castlevania Symphony of the Night came out on mobile. Woo! iOS and Android.
The fuck is that?
It is a PS1 game that I love so much. I'm fucking wearing a Castlevania shirt right now, dude.
I thought it was a Goosebumps shirt.
Oh, shit, no.
Actually, I've read it all day and still thought it was a Goosebumps shit.
No!
Look at the G, bro.
Fuck,
But
yeah.
it's a C, dog.
Goosebumps.
That's a I'm sorry. That's a Goosebumps fucking novel cover,
Yes,
bro.
absolutely.
You fake ass
100%.
fucking
Whatever.
Goosebumps shit.
No.
So
it's
Goosebumps
Castlevania.
app came out or whatever.
Yes. it's $4. It's fun as hell.
$4 ain't bad.
Yeah, and I got a little what is this called? 8-bit dough. 8-bit dough.
Can I see it?
8-bit dough.
8-bit dough. It's really good Bluetooth. Oh no! Nico's trying to throw my controller and destroy it, but it's a nice Bluetooth controller that I'm playing on my phone with. But yeah, I played so much of that game, and Konami just dropped it without
Out of nowhere.
announcing. Yeah, out of nowhere. They were just like,
Really?
"Hey, $4 online."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's the whole game. Like, flawless from the PSP version.
I like when you don't have to deal with like a hype train of a game for like years.
Yeah,
and the developer's just like, you know what, you're gonna get this.
Yeah,
There you go.
Throw it
Just
down.
Merry Christmas and
That
March.
game, or this game, Symphony of the Night, it's one of my all-time favorite games, and I freaked out. I bought it immediately as soon as I saw it. I started playing it. I had a different Bluetooth controller, and I was like, "This one sucks." And I got a new one, and this one's great.
And he hasn't stopped. We were working on some
We were
editing
working
last
on editing,
night,
and
instead
I
he
got to
was
go through
playing the
this
game.
puzzle.
So on the phone with this controller, how's the latency?
No, I can't notice it.
No,
Yeah, it's
really?
great.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll let you try it
And he
later
is a
on.
complainer of input lag.
Yeah, I
so-
hate input latency.
It is an issue
I hate
that
it.
needs to be brought up more, in my opinion.
Yes, Billy can't
awesome.
tell, and he's just like,
So
I'll
$4,
play it.
it's on iOS and Android.
iOS, Android. It's
All right.
great.
I might check it out.
Castlevania
'Cause
Symphony of the Night.
I don't even know if I've ever played Castlevania.
This is what started Metroidvania as a genre in video games.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah, a cross between Metroid,
Sure.
not Prime, but the original NES Samus
Yeah,
Aran
yeah.
from Smash Brothers, blonde girl.
Yes.
Yeah, suit, armor, gun, all that.
Metroid.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, it's a cross between Castlevania and Metroid.
Okay.
Wait,
The
Metroid?
That Metroid. Yeah, that genre became a thing. It's all over indie markets right now, like Metroidvania titles and stuff. Dark Souls is technically a Metroid 3D Metroidvania. The way it plays, it's just in 3D rather than side-scrolling. So if you like Dark Souls, you would like genres of Metroidvania, but it's in a side-scroller.
Wait, what?
The RPG element of finding weapons, leveling yourself up.
You find the most niche. I've never heard
It's a thing.
Metroidvania. I gotta Google
That's
this
such an
real quick.
old coined term since the 90s.
No, it's not.
Metroidvania.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it
it is
is.
not.
Never heard of it.
Because you guys don't play games.
I play games.
You play Call of Duty.
We played Call of Duty.
So
Yeah.
call us casual, but don't
Call of
pretend
Duty
like that's
Tuesday
a common
nights. Anybody
term.
that wants to play, come and see us. We're terrible.
You son of a bitch. Metroidvania, here it is. Metroidvania is a subgenre of action-adventure video games. The term is can't say that word, of the game series Metroid and Castlevania. Metroidvania game uses
What
game
bastard.
design and mechanics that are similar to games from these two series.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't even know.
It's just they both had elements of gameplay that a lot of game developers took from. They were like the foundation. Like everyone was like, "That's a great idea how that game played. I'm going to use that." you
Took
know?
or inspired.
Yeah, they set forth the inspiration towards other game developers.
Okay. I've just never heard that term. Interesting.
Yep, and like I said, Dark Souls is a 3D Dark Soul or Metroidvania.
I call bullshit.
Is that you?
That is me.
Okay, I was like, dog, what? I got so many tabs up. I was like, that could be me. I had no idea.
Playing some Undertale music on there.
Oh, shit. That's how we know you play too much video games. I have never heard of
play-
this in my
You
life.
never heard of Megalovania?
No.
That's the song name, but this
But you're
Am I
playing
on
something
Molly?
I've
Am I on
heard.
Molly? What am I listening to?
is a video game.
Undertale. Megalovania.
Megalovania. It's not the genre. That's an RPG game. That's just a joke, or rather, not a joke. It's weird.
Look, I looked up Metroidvania song, and that's the first thing that popped up. It's not a real thing. Don't worry about it.
It's really popular.
It's not.
You had Billy. You mentioned in our pre-show little deal that you had a hypothetical. Am I losing my mind?
Yeah, well, not necessarily hypothetical, just another kind of like
What if?
sort of deep question. I think as musicians, a lot of people always ask, and it's always a wonder of mine as well.
Here we go.
How do you write songs, or what is your approach to writing music? What is it that you do specifically?
This is an awful time to ask me because what I've been going through is 4 years of stopping playing music to getting back into it 2 years now.
Billy, I don't know if you know this. I'm in a cover band. A
There's no
cover
originals.
band.
FYI.
You wrote music at one point. All of you guys have. What is your approach
When?
to it?
Just fucking hit notes and nail it and go,
6
that
years
fucking
ago?
sounds sick, bruh. Sounds metal
So you just
AF.
hit notes.
I sit in a dark room with a candle and just do a lot of
I
accent.
have red light bulbs
I don't
on
know.
in my light fixture, and that's all I look at.
If you really want to know, being a drummer, I have to work with a guitarist because I can't write guitar. I just don't. And we basically sometimes I can feel out the
guitarist.
I can feel out the
Don't touch the
guitarist
guitars.
with my hands. No, I can sometimes I can play a drum beat and I can kind of hear the flow of like maybe a third of a song, but I need that other person to like bounce off my, all right, I want to do this intro idea, but I need you to play something, and then
Would you draw inspiration from like other material that's familiar to that genre, like, you know, as far as like what you can map out, like a tom fill in a section or something like that? Would you kind of draw inspiration from something for, or would it be just straight up in your mind without thinking of other bands that have fit the same genre that you're playing?
That's really tough. That's the whole argument of, do you listen to the genre
I will admit, and our friend Kevin caught me on this once, and that tore me apart. I made a riff, and subconsciously I had been listening to a band, Blood Red Throne or something like that, and I've been listening to him for a week, and I stopped listening to him, started writing, and then I showed Kevin a riff, and he's like, "That's Blood Red Throne." I'm like, "What?" And then he plays the song. I'm like, "Holy crap!"
How similar was it?
It was like, I was like maybe on a different tempo, same notes, and like the end of it was just a little different flair, and I was just like, "That is, wow!" I didn't realize I was doing that, and then I started going over my songs. It broke my mind, and I was like, I gotta stop listening to death metal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's an argument to that.
I do it all the time. So as a drummer, though, you more or less you don't think you could come up with an entire song on just drums? Or
no, I could definitely.
You have to feed off.
No, I could definitely do that, because I've recorded things where it's literally just drums, but I can kind of hear like the idea of what the guitar hopefully might be playing.
The guitarist, I guess. Would you go after the guitarist image in his mind for the song, or would you kind of just go at the music? Because I feel like certain people have ideas of how they want the drums to sound, things like that, versus you have your own idea of sound to the tempo of the music or something like that, the structure of it.
I don't want to speak out of my ass, but I have heard a lot of guitarists write full songs, right? Mm-hmm. And I've heard
they write ridiculous drum parts.
Their drums, it's not that it's absurd. It's just that it doesn't flow correctly. I can't. It's so hard to explain.
That's what I'm saying. It's absurd. Like, it's just insane. You're like, what the hell?
You could almost tell. I could usually, for the most part, always tell that it's a guitarist who, you know, they can write drums that make sense, you know, for the riff and that idea of the song.
It's 4/4,
but it's just forced drums. It just doesn't have a flow. It doesn't have the dynamics, you know, that you need. But when I hear certain drummers play an entire song, the flow is so perfect that I'm almost thinking like they had to have maybe heard, you know, some guitarists write everything out,
right?
And
just
then
kind of everything 4/4.
Yeah, and then they send the track to the drummer, and they're like, figure it out. Here's the idea. Do whatever you need to do, though.
Right.
I've encountered that several times, where I would write the most basic drum track just to fill in space, so it doesn't, you know, you get the idea, and I'm like, just do whatever you want. I'd like to hear that. And then we'd go practice, and it's exactly what I wrote. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Right. So like a guitarist can write without drums for the most part, you know, unless they're uninspired or they're plateauing in some way. But I feel like drummers can also write without a guitarist. I'm almost convinced of it.
They certainly can.
Because I can't, it's so hard to verbalize these things, but I have sat down and I've played a song in my head, and I'm like, oh man, I need to send this to somebody. I just never do.
Have you ever like hummed out tunes in your head while playing, being like,
always?
Okay.
Always.
You got a song. You got a song in your head.
Envision it. Yeah. You know, but then I never took that extra step and like sent it out to somebody.
I guess it's a little embarrassing though when you have to be like, I want to be like, dun, 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 you know. Like,
yeah, and I started doing that.
It happens though. I mean, we dealt with a vocalist who
big
was
in metal bands.
I love the guy, but he was musically tone deaf. He could do his vocals, but he was musically tone deaf. But he could figure it out, and then eventually through his notes of that, we would eventually get it. Speaking of RJ, you know, there would be times where he would just do it, and we're just like, what the fuck are you asking for right now? And he just goes, you know,
he's trying to explain what he has in mind.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's embarrassing sometimes, but it's like if you were an outsider listening
I've done it before
on
too.
a band's practice session, and they're just like, go dun, 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 dun.
There were so many times in older bands where somebody had a girlfriend there, or a girl they were talking to, not a girlfriend.
Yeah.
A girl that's like, yeah, come to band practice,
We're so hot.
Check this shit out, dude. And like, this is gonna be sick, dude. We're gonna blow your fucking mind. And then we're sitting around just going, no, it's like bump, bump, ba-dump, gunk, ga-dump, ba-dump, pump. And the girl's like, oof, this sucks.
What is this scat rap shit going on
Get
here?
the fuck out of here.
I can say with modern
Dating Scabby and
technology, it is now easier for a guitarist to be able to kind of
convey his
envision all that.
message, Yeah.
Me in the past, I was similar in the sense of like maybe a drummer stands at. I couldn't write any guitar without drums. If you give me even a basic drum beat, if I could play that and maybe a few changes in there, I could probably write some guitar over it, riff over it, eventually get something that sounds halfway decent. But if I had nothing just sitting in my room, I used to be terrible at just playing it and going, oh man, I've got, a quarter of a song here. Now I just need a drummer or something to put this together. I would literally get nothing. There would be a quick riff and then moving on to the next. That has nothing to do with what I was just playing at all. With technology now I can just program out some drums, or I get that idea, program the drums, and then now I've got a quarter of what sounds like a full song. Now I can build inspiration off of that. But before I couldn't do shit whatsoever. But with you, let's say a guitar player does though come with you with some material. Here's a guitar, even the basic drums. What is your approach then as far as writing the drums to that? Is it, maybe listen to the song a couple times? Obviously, I would imagine you do that, get the feel for the song. And then do you just start playing shit out and seeing what fits? Or do you generally have an idea of like, that part sounds awesome, here's what I think will work there? What is it that kind of works for you on that?
The fewer outside ideas I hear, the better off I am. So if you have...
if we don't make suggestions, basically.
If there's no drums in the song...
Like a click track or something.
But as soon as I hear that with the guitar and the bass, and I hear percussion with it, I'm automatically influenced by that.
Okay.
And it'll almost imprint a little.
Because you say that's what you focus on. That's
all I hear.
That takes away your attention.
Right.
From
but
what
if
the guitar and bass
you
is
just
actually
send
doing.
me the bass and the guitar and like vocals, whatever else you need to, I'm going to be able to organically come up with something that I think might fit.
That's an interesting point. And I know, and that's probably why I get the results I've gotten is I send the whole track and go, hey, this is kind of the idea, just to get an idea to a drummer. And it'd be like, if you could play something along those lines, make it up however you want. Cause I made it sterile as hell, as you could tell. And then, like I said, go to band practice, they play the exact same thing. And I'm like, either they have no imagination or I influenced them. I don't know. And I guess I did just influence them. They probably just honed in on the drums, ignored everything else, and we're just like, I don't know.
Especially if you're sending a track that it's like you're not like, okay, here's a track with the drums, bass, guitar, and here's a track with just the bass and guitar. Like
yeah, I guess I should have done that before. I probably should have just sent just a click track, bass and guitar, and that's it.
Yeah,
no drum.
It is tough. I can see where you're coming from, especially.
But I feel like that puts people on the spot too, being like, "Hey, what can you do with nothing?"
No, it's just if you're a drummer,
I feel like
you can.
To play Kevin,
write.
if somebody handed me a set of drums now, if the drums are, we go to band practice and like, here's the drums, now write. We're going to need to break that down. But if I can sit at home and kind of think about it and then come into the practice space wherever I'm at, as a guitar player, obviously I can still do it at home.
Storage garage?
Yeah, my storage garage.
Storage unit.
Then I can figure it out. But yeah, it just, at that point, it is tough. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I experienced this like last year. My buddy down in Richmond, Jim, who I was in a band with years and years ago, like 10 plus years ago, he gave me a shout and wanted to know if I could play drums. I was like, I could try. I'm, different spot in life now. I'm not 19. It's really hard to make time for these kind of things, but I'll try for sure. Cause I was really interested in giving it a shot. I hadn't played original drums in years and years.
Right.
And then, he sent me the tracks, sent me the drums, was like, we have a pretty good idea as to what we want the drums to be. Just learn these as best you can. Just make sure you focus on the fills and the time signatures and the structures of songs. It was very interesting. It was very good too. Shout out to Shiloh, by the way, down in Richmond. I miss you guys. They're very cool dudes. We practiced for, I don't know, we probably got together maybe half a dozen times, maybe. And I just learned all the drums through those tracks that they emailed me. And that's the first time I experienced, like, not just sitting in a shed and like banging my head against the wall. It was really cool seeing the progression and technology kind of
And people
give
have
us
got
a
their
hand.
shit together.
It was cool. It was really cool. But then I realized I couldn't do it. I was so upset because the music was awesome and those guys were really cool. I was upset by that.
I can see what you're saying too. With if somebody even has something basic, it would probably come from somebody maybe that you would trust. Like I know we've worked with some guitar players in the past. That person, if that's their vision, you know, I've worked with like my buddy Rich. You know, if that's what he wrote out, I imagine that was his vision. You know, he got
His
pretty
visions
good
are
at-
intricate.
he composition. The guitar was crazy. The layers were there. So like he would even say, "Here's drums, but make him better," because I'm not a drummer. You know, I've got an idea, but make him better. But at the same time, it's like, well, shit. You know, I've got somebody who I trust wholeheartedly with writing music. Now what do I do? Because I don't want to fuck these things up. Or it sounds pretty fucking good to me. Like, what more do you want out of these drums?
When
now?
you have a guy that is more of a composer
Right.
than he is
well, it was a really
a
ridiculous guitar
specialist
player,
with
but
an
yes,
instrument.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when he has that vision,
He has
it's
a
like
vision,
there is
right.
there is a pressure for sure. And like
Right.
with those guys down in Richmond, I would play. You know, they would notice the smallest intricacies.
Where you're like, even if you hit the wrong symbol, and they're like, I wanted the low,
which I
symbol, not
appreciate.
the high.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
You hit the 22. I wanted the 24. Because
and I appreciate the shit out of that because I was like, all right, so this is your thing.
they're paying attention.
And that
they care.
That puts the pressure off of my creative muse. That sounded woo woo as shit. But
Go for it.
that it takes the pressure off of you in a creative sense, and you're not worried about coming up with the next best thing.
But
That's
then they're
gonna.
critiquing you on your.
But I don't care. I could
performance.
deal with that. I could deal with that because that's just muscle memory and practice and time and repetition. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Right. So Daniel, what have you been able to do? Like you were in a band before. I know right now you haven't been writing. None of us really have.
No, I need to. I need to get a
would
dog
be
going.
nice.
All that
A
stuff.
dog.
D-A-W dog.
Dog. All right.
D-A-W dog.
Everybody help Daniel get a dog, please. You really need
Talking
one.
about a digital audio workshop.
Yeah. I just. So yeah, support me on my Patreon. No. Daniel needs a new doll.
Dog. Dodo.
What?
My son has been saying
His son is just
Dodo.
Oh, I thought you
lately,
just-
and it's adorable. So
I thought you were like,
sorry.
this would be funny.
Now it's in my
It
head.
doesn't sound like how Billy's saying it. It's a little kid saying it. But yeah.
Dodo.
No,
A
as far as
toddler.
Yes.
Sorry.
As far as me sticking or developing my chops back up, everything, getting all the rudiments back into my fingers. Like I used to shred like crazy back in the day, and I used to know so much little stupid details on like music theory and stuff just through muscle memory. Like I wouldn't mentally know what I'm doing. I just know my fingers would just naturally know where I'm at on the neck. My fingers should be here. It can't go anywhere else unless I'm trying to be weird, you know. And now I've lost all of that, and it's like I'm at the super basics again, but I still have all my dexterity.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
I've been there for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, so imagine if you had fingers fast as fuck boy, but whatever. It's
Lightning.
like, like I still have fast fingers and everything. It's just my mind is trying to comprehend things and make much more of an understanding and not rely on the muscle memory. But that's the hard part. It's like I never had to mentally do all that. So now I'm just kind of like, what the fuck?
You're out of practice.
Yeah,
So
I
you-
am way out of
Yeah.
practice.
Are you not a jammer or somebody who, jams something out and then comes up with something? You theoretically think
if
about
anything, what I've been doing lately is listening to things, finding melody chasing. I like a melody in a song I hear, whether it's pop, metal, rock, anything, even video games, like video game soundtracks. Like sometimes a melody in a video game, I'll be playing a video game and I'll keep hearing this melody because I'm in a level or something like that. Keep hearing it. I'm like, all right, what is that tune? What is that melody? I want to mimic it on guitar. I can find I would say my ear training has gotten a lot better, which wasn't a thing back then for me. I didn't do any ear training. Nowadays, I've been focusing on ear training where I can hear a note and I can find it, and then I would find the root, and then just find the melody within that structure, whatever I'm hearing, and then I can mimic it. And it's been so much easier for me now. For the past 2 years, that's what I've been focusing on rather than, I guess, muscle memory around the entire guitar. I've just been memorizing the notes around the guitar in a weird way. So it's weird. It's like jamming along with other people and stuff like that. I can find things pretty easily.
Give me the phone.
when I can hear their.
Give me the damn phone.
You can get it back at the end of the class.
Son of a bitch.
No, but I like jamming out to people. When I see their hands, I can obviously find where they're playing at and all that. But now I'm playing completely blind because I'm playing to songs that don't have a guitarist or something like that.
Right.
There's no hands to watch.
I guess you have been writing, so you're full of shit. That you haven't been writing. No, you're full of shit.
No, it's not original. I'm figuring out.
But you're still
someone
writing
else's material.
Yeah, but that's still it's keeping you in practice. Training. Yeah. My approach is absolutely fucking terrible. If I write something that's halfway decent, it's because I was lucky. I was just jamming out. Found some stuff that I like. The intro to this entire podcast series was us 5 minutes into recording or programming some drums. I did have some drums or an idea, and then just kind of wrote it out, a minute long worth of stuff.
You had the riff. You had the riff already.
I created that on the spot.
Yeah, but you were writing it, and then we did the drums after.
Right. So that day we kind of did it. Not that it's the best thing. I'm not saying that's the best thing you'll ever hear in your life, but. I get lucky sometimes, and things work together, and it turns out where it's okay. I think I've probably written one full song by myself. That's about it. Other than that, it's little riffs here, helping somebody else write something that is better than I can do, kind of thing.
If anyone's super curious, I have a Newgrounds account under Will Bob.
Newgrounds,
old as hell.
Back to 2004.
I have tons of stuff on Newgrounds under my Will Bob moniker, and it's all just like chunks of stuff. It's not full things I've written. For some weird reason, back in the day, I would not release full things I've written because I had a fear of people stealing it. I don't know.
That's your money, dude.
Yeah. But I would put out all my rough drafts, all the samples, intros, or like songs that I might have started on and didn't figure out what to do with it. Later on, I'd turn it into another song. Things like that. But yeah, you can see all my ideas and projects on Newgrounds. And every now and then I'll go through it and I'll be like, what? I would remember influences at my time. I'm like, I can't believe I was really into this band. And I like the melody chasing, I would have a band theme stuck in my head. Whether it was, I had Andrew WK stuck in my head once. I had to write a party song.
Party hard.
Huh.
Yeah. I just had to write an upbeat, synth heavy, heavy hitting synth sounding.
Do you get cringed out? Like going back and going through the evolution of like your garbage taste.
I don't know. I still listen to Andrew WK, not as much as I used to, but it's like, man, I wish I was that cool.
Creatively, you don't go back and look. No. It's like looking at a middle school yearbook.
Like I said, I'll go back and go, man, I wish I was still cool.
I don't know. I've got a couple songs.
It's reverse cringe. I cringe at my old self.
That's interesting.
I've got a couple songs that literally only me and Wade have heard, and I pulled up my old hard drive to kind of convert it over to the new computer, and it's been sitting in a box for years. And I pulled it up, and I start seeing some of the old stuff that I had, and I was like, oh, I feel like I remember writing this song. I started playing it. Now this is also a song with clean guitar and vocals from me, and I was like, this is some of the worst, cringiest shit I've ever fucking heard in my life. It was really bad. Really bad.
Yeah, that's how I feel about everything. Basically everything I've ever done. Like I just go back because I'm never
full of shit.
No, I'm just
everything.
I'm never. I can't enjoy.
Never satisfied.
I can't seem to enjoy really much of anything that I creatively get into.
I'll tell you some of the stuff I've seen you do is some of the better stuff I've ever seen. Count Your Stars. If you hate that, then I can't wait to see when you like something.
Well, this also it kind of works with the fact that I can't also take a compliment. I appreciate it and I'll say thank you, but at the same time, I just don't create. No, I just creatively, I can't be comfortable with really anything that I do.
That's probably a good thing. Then you'll always strive to be better.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it is.
Where some of us will be content and say, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna continue." And then myself, like I would think I would get better, but I'm lazy. I don't think I'll ever get better because I don't want to, and I'm happy with what I'm able to produce.
I mean, there's also like I'm trying to change directions. Like I'm really not trying to do really anything with original music anymore, unless something really catches my attention or something.
I'll get you something soon.
I just don't have time. I just don't feel. At least I
feel
getting
like older. Absolutely.
I just feel like I don't have time, and it sucks. But it is what it is. Unless something really convenient comes by me, then I'll see what I can do. But I like this kind of thing that we're doing now. You know, I'm trying. I always want to try to put my best effort towards something that I haven't done or given a shot. You know, and like see what happens and try to get better with it. Always try something different and always try to get as good as you can, and then if you feel like you got as good as you could, maybe move on to something else, make another move. Like I tried whittling wood.
Oh, that's awesome!
Wood, really?
I tried whittling wood for an hour, and I hated it. And that's when I realized this is as good as I'm going to get, and I'm going to do something else now. I made a birdhouse.
So that was your underwater basket weaving.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, let's do this hobby. Ooh, this sucks. Or this is cool. Do it for a week, and then I'm done with it. And let's see how long. Maybe I'll be here next week. I don't know.
I can say real quick, I want to talk
I'm going to play this in the background. It's not copywritten. It's something I wrote. It's just my party music.
This is on your Newgrounds account?
This is my Newgrounds account. Yeah, we can talk over it.
How old were you?
I was...
Just curious.
This was when I was maybe 20.
Oh,
20.
Okay.
Before I was 21.
So,
living in North Carolina.
I don't know how. I know you've experienced it because one of the examples I'm going to give is with you, Daniel. Nico, I don't know if you have, but I think some of the coolest stuff that you can write, if it turns out good, if you're not completely fucking drunk and go, let's write a song, which may turn out good. But when you're writing a song with some friends on just some random shit. So there was a moment once with Daniel that
you love it. You're loving it. This is Andrew WK.
Do you remember?
Yeah, it is.
Do you remember back in the day when Jakey actually had a what was it? Nintendo DS?
Yeah,
and it was like a music creator type of thing inside the game that he was
an
playing.
Intro in a song.
So it was like this intro to a song that then just sparked this whole entire song for Daniel. It's like, that sounds tight, and Jakey's like, okay, let's fucking do it. Let's write this song.
It was literally like 2 seconds. It was just do 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 do,
and then guitars start, and then Daniel wrote a whole song after that, and it was, in my opinion, one of the better things he's ever done. No offense, he can obviously play a lot better now.
Back when I played in drop tuning, and
but
I
this
hated
is
it.
right. This is, and then he got black metal, which I've already discussed last week. I'm not the biggest fan of, or death metal, black metal, whatever. But
sidebar. This is Andrew WK. Mm-hmm. That's like I haven't even heard that song in a million years. This is, you stole it. You're a thief.
Like I said, I would have themes of bands stuck, and I'd be like, I just gotta play something along the just rip off tune that I can.
Yeah, you're a thief, dude.
It's the song I'm talking about. On
Melody chasing.
Yeah.
It's the song I'm talking about on your Newgrounds at all, or
which one? Oh, Electroplankton is what
that's
I called
what it's
it.
called. Do you see it or no?
No.
Oh, damn it.
I don't think I uploaded that because it was a complete song. Like I said,
somebody's got it.
If it was a complete song, I wouldn't upload it for some dumb reason.
We're going to find it and post it because it was pretty awesome. Probably sounds like shit thanks to new quality standards. But
I mean, I was plugged into headphone jack, from quarter inch to headphone jack.
Right into a MacBook.
Yeah, into a MacBook, yeah. Greatest DAWs built inside of a laptop you've ever seen. DAWs.
GarageBand.
I meant DAC. Digital audio or analog converter. Yeah.
With the
anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So there's a monthly subscription based service out there for guitarists.
Okay.
Called Guitar Crate.
Guitar Crate.
The Guitar Crate. Ranging from $20 to $100, you can get kind of a customized monthly subscription of guitar strings, and you can select 8 string guitars to 6, 7, 8, even 10 string guitars out there. You can customize this box to get you different brands of things to try out. If you're experimenting, I'd say this is awesome sounding. When I was looking into it, they do it for basses too, which coincidentally you can choose. I play on a 4-string bass or an 8-string bass. I would like 8-string bass strings sent to me. With the varying levels of commitments you can go to, the $100 package a month gives you a guitar pedal, like a random guitar pedal.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That's not bad.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, $100 a month, that's a pretty penny, but you get a lot of cool stuff. I can't say,
How often do you change your strings though?
Oh, me? I mean,
if you play a lot, you should be changing it. You could do once every couple of weeks, or if you're like me, I should be changing them like once a month, once every 2 months.
On average,
people in your band should be probably changing them once every week or 2.
They change them a lot. I do notice
they should.
They change them a lot.
Because they're playing a lot.
Yeah.
I don't play as
before
often
a show,
as I like,
you should.
and I have 10 fucking guitars, so I pick my favorite of the day, and the other ones don't get used as much.
To save money for me, I like fresh strings compared to worn in. I'd say they lose their prime after a month.
I thought they were too tight. I thought some guitarists said they were too tight, or I could be making that up. I don't know.
No, it's
always
about
the same
tension on the guitar, but that's something you can set up. But once you find that tension that you like, the string gauge that you like, basically you'll like them. But once it loses that tension or just tight sound, and just they feel a certain way,
They
it's
lose
weird.
their edge. They become a little more rounded, fatter sounding.
I think drums can obviously lose their
that
feel
snare
or
would lose its crack
or pop. Right. So once that happens, that happens on guitars, strings very quickly. People have come up with other tricks, but there's nothing to me than just slapping on a fresh set of strings.
Bassists will boil their strings to get the finger grease off.
You know, I was thinking about doing a monthly drumhead subscription, like
Is that
6 months ago. I don't know.
Oh, it's your own.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing it. But I thought about it for 1 second. I'm an inventor.
Dude, for drummers, anything that you can get monthly subscription would be fucking great.
Cymbals.
I think drumheads.
It's all Wuhan, buddy.
Well, drummers, even, okay, so a snare is what, $30 to $40 for a snare.
The head?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends though.
Right.
That's about it though.
Some of the other ones you can get for a little cheaper with the toms, but you got, it depends on what kind of set you got. If you're working with a small jazz kit, you could obviously get a much cheaper setup going on, but I don't envy drummers at all. You guys spend way too much fucking money on
They're
your
the most
craft.
expensive instrument out
You should
there.
just all
They're
go
the
electric
dumbest
and call it a
instrument, dude.
fucking day.
Everything takes too long. Everything takes long. Setting up,
Setting
tuning,
up, breaking down,
replacing
too.
everything. It's just a nightmare.
Is it bad that for me to be like, oh, it's a good drummer is when we'd meet online and all that, and they'd have band practice at their place. Their parents
Be
have
careful
to.
who you meet online, bud.
Oh yeah, no, but you'd go to their house and turns out they live in a mansion and they have a whole entire garage separated and everything to themselves. You're like, oh, this is gonna be a good drummer.
Why? Because
he has all the practice time he can do. He can play late at night, and his parents are rich as hell, and they buy him all the nice things, so he's gonna have all the nice stuff.
I mean, he's got the advantages, so the rest is up to him. But yeah,
yeah,
I understand that. But yeah, I don't see any monthly drumhead subscription. Maybe it's got to be out here, right?
It's pricey, I'd imagine, though. That's the thing.
It would be super expensive.
I mean, how many drummers out there are replacing their heads on a monthly basis?
That's what I'm thinking too.
Could it be a quarterly service?
I mean, maybe I feel like
Every
this
3
would be
months.
super. This might be ideal. Maybe
so
not.
you pay a year subscription.
Yeah, but if you're a professional drummer,
oh yeah, you definitely roll.
you're
monthly.
you're rolling everywhere.
The hard part is
Where are you gonna get it mailed to?
Yeah,
True. But the hard part is that but there are still people that are still local and up and coming. Once you're bigger, you're going to get endorsements. You're going to get people to send you the fucking heads for
I mean, you would be a prime
fraction
example.
of the price.
You don't go far from home, but you
But
tour a lot,
how often,
play a lot.
I play a
if
decent amount.
you had just the unlimited funds to do so, how often would you actually change the heads? Because that's time consuming too. It's one thing, guitar, we could restring guitar in 15 minutes, get it tuned up, stretch it out a little bit. We can do 15 to half hour, for now we're talking an entire drum kit. Like how often would you change if you had the time and the money to do so?
I don't change my snare out, or this is
I
just
feel like
me.
snare is the one that waits the longest
You can
to change
beat
out.
the shit out of a snare drum
It's got Kevlar
with
and
a
stuff
certain
placed, right?
ply. Yeah, you could just destroy it, and it doesn't really lose its. It takes from my experience, it takes a long time for it to lose its tone or become dead, or something goes wrong. The toms, the ones I use anyways, they're not super thick because I like a nice, just a pop to the tone. I don't like dry heads really. So those are fair.
you like the clear
thinner. Clear coat. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I like. They tend to dent quicker. I don't know if it's because of the way I'm hitting it or what's going on. They
Do you
dent
get
quicker and they become dead.
Do you get a lot of indents from your playing, or are yours just
On the
scuff
floor
marks?
tom, which is super. My floor tom's right there. I can never figure out why.
I feel like
get
it's just
dents
a
in
way
those
where
all
you
the
just like
time.
that's the one that you're gonna fucking with snare or anything.
Yeah,
Just,
when you do
Yeah.
your intro to
the other ones you're going quick. Like you're not the heaviest hitter.
No, and
by far.
I can't even hit hard if I wanted to, honestly. So, but yeah, I guess I would probably if I had to replace my drum heads, I would replace. It would probably be mostly the bass drum. Those things get worn out,
Right,
the
for
kit?
sure.
and they break. And you do not. That's really the one that's going to break. They
those
all can
Kevlar
technically
pads help?
break, but those break and you're
Those
done.
do break. I've seen that.
Yeah, it sucks.
does that Kevlar pad that you put in front help a lot? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. They
Yeah.
come with all the EMAD drum heads.
They
that have
last to
like
a
a
certain
muffler
extent, but I've
ring
even
around
seen
it.
Travis, even with those, just goes straight through them.
Yeah, but do they help prolong the life, or
Yes.
is it okay?
As far as I've seen, you're a
Technically.
drummer. I haven't seen. But
From my experience, because I've used EMAD drum heads.
Those are the ones with the foam rings on the outer
With the
edge?
foam rings that dampen your drum.
Right,
Like
okay.
I have a DW kit, and the bass drum, the tone just goes and goes and
It
doesn't
just
stop.
projects and shoots.
So I need that muffler ring to just get it to calm down, so I don't have to put like this massive gate on it when we're at a show, but still get a nice punch to it. But yeah, there's the little Kevlar thing you put where you hit the beater hits the drum head itself. You put it right there. It helps a little bit. I don't know the science behind it really, because I'm a dumb
But you're still
drummer.
pounding at it, huh?
Yes.
well, it's the same as treating this room. It's just sound can only go so far. It was really funny. The last show you guys had at ABC, I had a friend there who can enjoy music but doesn't really understand instruments that much. And he asked specifically, he said, "What are these rings on the drums for? And what are they doing there?" So I had to explain
the black printed rings on the center,
the
outer
white
edge.
clear plastic rings that you would throw on like a bass and a tom if you wanted to. I know some people use like the moon gel on a snare.
Oh yeah.
Kick
But
his
you had
ass.
the ring on a
Do you fight him?
bass or
Oh,
floor
those
tom.
clear rings.
Tell him
Yeah.
to shut the fuck up.
I did not because I wanted to
Mind
educate
your
them.
fucking business.
'Cause
asshole.
that's what we're in the sort of business of doing. That's all we can do now. We're not very good at anything anymore. So at least tell them what the fuck it does.
They're dampener rings. They make it so
Correct.
your tone doesn't just keep ringing and
Right.
ringing and just bug the shit out of you. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool that I knew that and
Yeah.
was able to help him out.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Well, so
it.
there's a head out there, or a guitar head. So I saw it was pretty interesting. It's taking on the fact of a hybrid solid state versus not analog, the tubed. I can't remember the terms. Solid state versus analog. I don't know, but it's a high gain tube amp, super light, travel ready, and everything. It's loaded with 12 AX7 tubes for the preamp, but 100 watts of solid state power amp. No tubes for the power amp. So it's that hybrid. I know you're more familiar with tube amps. I dove into it for a short while before I stopped touring and playing on tube amps and stuff like that. How does that sound to you? Preamp being tubed, power amp, solid state.
Well,
So you can't push it very loud. You're not going to get
So
that
here's the-
nice sound pushing it. I understand that.
so basically I had a Mesa triple rack back in the day that had preamp tubes, which come in before the power stage of an amp. So you have a sound that it's going to create, and then eventually you're going to get a power section of that then's going to push that sound through your speakers and come out. So what this is showing is basically we have a preamp sound. So basically, we're, even with these mics, we're going through a preamp.
Yeah,
That if we went through
no, we're
something
not.
completely different, it would sound maybe different to certain ears. So basically, this is a preamp with 12 AX7s, which is basically what Mesa's would come
flavoring
with.
the guitar signal.
It's going to flavor that signal as it comes in, and then the power is solid state, which I think is very, very interesting. I don't know how good it would be because
You can't
when
turn it
comes,
all the way up.
Well, when it comes to a power section, so the way tubes work is they're going to drive and give you a certain tone out of your amp, and then they can get very loud. They're going to break up in a different way than a solid state. A solid state is still an analog amp. However, it's going to not, it becomes to the point where once you're going volume up, it's you're just making
there's
it
a
louder at
threshold
that
before
point.
you're
Correct.
not you're going past zero, whereas in tubes you go past zero, you get a more distorted sound.
Right, you're gonna break it up. It's gonna
It's
really
a nice
drive.
breakup. That
It's
tube
using
gain overdriven
a
sound.
tube, to be able to drive your sound there. However, because you're getting the preamp sound of a tube going into a solid state, that's just going to make it easier. So it looks like what I'm reading here, you're going to be able to fly with this. The biggest thing with people now is they're going with modelers, basically devices that can
Kemper.
sound like real amplifiers out there. So I have the Kemper, the XFX is a big one out there. Line 6, your guys is you guys use Line 6s for your band.
Yes.
So instead of using big amps and turning things like that, one of the big reasons why a lot of people like those is if you fly somewhere, you go to a show, your tubes,
Are gonna
would get
suffer.
cold or hot or
Humidity
whatever.
fucks them up.
If we played a show, even if we got back at 2, 3 in the morning, the amps came out of the truck because if they sat outside all night, the amps are going to be fucked the next morning. I think even a couple times they were wet. We had to dry them out, make sure they weren't completely fucked because they would sweat after sitting in there. So now we have a hybrid rig where the 12AX7s are much smaller tubes because they're not taking the power to be able to drive your tone there. And then a solid state power amp. Looks like it's rack mounted. I'd be interested to check it out for sure.
Yeah,
Sounds
I mean,
awesome.
the biggest thing too is that it's got mil spec control pots. So like military grade, heavy duty, like you can slam your fist into it and your fist would take cuts before that thing would start breaking,
Looks like $11.99. It's a 2-channel preamp with the 12AX7s. Yeah. So have you heard anything of what it sounds? It looks fucking awesome. It's
I
called
haven't listened.
Flight R6 Flight Rig.
Yeah, flight rig.
It's got a big, it looks like an Air Force amp.
Yeah, I just thought it's super interesting. None of us travel like that, but it's a nice option for just saving your back, even for just touring in general. It's super lightweight. The power amps in a amp is what really brings that weight on.
Right. So with this, especially with the tube amp, it's definitely going to get heavier. It's big, and it's very costly. I mean, so I'm reading here, these are about $1,200. So you got the 12AX7s. So you're still getting a certain tone out of those preamps. I've played small combo amps where my Mesa had 6 rectifier tubes, so the power tubes in there to really drive that sound. And I think I had 5 or 6 12AX7s. Sorry if those aren't the proper numbers. There's a lot of fucking tubes in this thing.
Yeah.
It's also a lot of money to change all that shit out. Luckily, they lost a lot longer than drum heads, but they still cost a lot of money to pull all those out.
That's like
change them out. It's $200 or $300 to change out just your power tubes.
The tubes would be like replacing hardware on your
change.
drums in comparison. It'd be like, oh, I got to change.
Right, now I need 3 new stands because they're
Yeah.
just fucked up. And that it's that time. So that's one of the reasons why I don't have one anymore. But newer tubes are just going to make it sound great. That's what it is.
So how do I put these tubes on my drum cymbals?
You hook a mic, and then you have that mic go into a analog receiver that has tubes built in.
Perfect. Yep.
Then you got to replace those tubes.
You can get a 2 preamp
Can I
that you
just-
can run your mic through.
Can I just use Gorilla Tape and like tape
You
it
could
under
do
my
that
China
too.
cymbal?
Maybe just run a couple cables to it so it'll light up for you and make it look pretty
I'm in.
because they do light
All
up.
right, I'm in. Let's do it.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So
a travel friendly guitar thing. I'd never heard of a hybrid amp like that. I've heard of headphone preamps like that, and I was like, that's a cool concept. I never dove into it, but then when I was like, they make guitar heads like this now. Like it's either tubed or solid state, not both.
yeah, I'm not sure I have. I mean, some people are able to replicate that tube sound. That's what the Kempers and Axe Effects. That's their goal, is to create that tube sound. It's something that's got to warm up, takes a lot of power, and then it just sounds great.
Yeah, the louder you go, the harder it
The
hits.
solid state stuff are the things that I hate to put them out there, but like an old Metallica album to me is just that screams solid state, just like just
Yeah, the staticky
yeah,
kinda
just
gain.
staticky high, just not a very well-rounded warm sound. While the tones or the tubes rather are going to make that warm, awesome sound. I like that idea. I'd be interested in that, but I've got one better for you.
Oh,
If you
trying to one up me on this game.
if you want to go to my Google Doc in there, you have heard of them. Nico, I'm going to explain this to you. There's a company out there called Synergy
Oh, yeah.
who is basically taking that modeling idea. So we're going to make these amps sound like they are, and they kind of one-up modelers. They're not as small or lightweight and compact as modelers, but they do essentially the same type of job. So what Synergy has done is they teamed up with some of your bigger amp companies out there, like Engel, Friedman.
Friedman, a big one. Do they have Morgan?
I don't think they have Morgan yet. I haven't seen those. Soldano is one of them. And then recently they have actually gotten some artists involved. I don't know too many of them, but the main one that they've gotten recently. So Friedman, Soldano, Diesel, Morgan is actually one of them.
Oh, there you go.
Bogner,
Bogner.
Fryat, Tone King, Engel, Metropole, Polius. I'm not even sure how to say that. I've never heard of them, but I'd be interested in checking them out.
I'd imagine too, then, huh?
Probably at some point. So basically, what they're doing is they're working with the actual companies. So what some of the modelers do is they're going to make something that they, the creators of this, they think this sounds as close to that amp. So for example, on the Kemper, you would actually profile your amp. Basically, you mic up an amp in a cab, and then that sends it to the Kemper, and it creates a digital footprint or fingerprint rather, to say this is how the amp sounds. This is the way we're interpreting it based on the way you got it mic'd. And now this is your profile. So it became huge because of that. So now you can take your tubed amps and be able to go into the studio and really get good profiles of them. And basically now I have that in a little lunchbox or a little rack mount unit that's fully solid state. What Synergy has done is they've actually teamed up with these amp companies, because if I put a Mesa into my thing and try to sell it, I have to sell it as a California tread plate or something like that. That's a name that's associated with Mesa, but I can't sell as Mesa. Synergy, what they're doing is they're getting with the actual amp companies and saying, how the hell do you do these circuits? You're going to partner with us, basically, not forcing them.
Basically, I think what they do is they give them a shell and go, hey, what can you fit in this frame?
Correct.
And make your amp out of it.
Correct. So these people like Bogner and Soldano, those guys are coming and they're helping build these amps. And what they are is they're little modules that
think of it like a graphics card being shoved into your computer. It's like graphics cards for amps.
Basically the size of that. So you can plug it into many different modules. They have amp heads that you can plug them into. And then literally it's a press of a button. You pull that out and then you got another amp that you can just slide right in. They're like putting cassette tapes into a VCR kind of thing. Popping in a new DVD for you millennials that are older or younger millennials than us that don't understand what a VCR is. But basically you're popping in that new tape and then you've got a whole different sound. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen, because the amp creators themselves are saying, this is how my amp is built. This is what you need in this. Here's your circuit for this. And you will get the sound of my amp.
The approved sound that we were going after in our original amps.
And recently, one of the greatest of all time, Steve Vai, now has his own signature Synergy amp model.
Bright green.
It's bright green. All of them are black. So he's the first one to go, that's not going to work. Let's put some color on it.
Steve Vai.
He is Steve fucking Vai.
He could put flowers on it and then be like done because your guitars
rainbow, whatever you want to do. Steve Vai was able to create it. And it sounds fucking incredible. It sounds... you could play through it and you're not going to be as good as him. I promise you. I don't care who the fuck you are. However, you can sound just like Steve Vai by playing through that. It's a really awesome thing to do. And you can get rack mounts for the studio that are just preamp versions that will go straight into any type of cab loader or anything like that. Or, basically, so you could take also impulse responses of cabs, how that speaker is going to respond to you pushing the sound through it. And that creates another digital footprint that you can now, I can have the sound of my head and I can have the sound of my cabinet for my speakers. And then those are two separate things. The head is going to be the head. It's your favorite. But whatever speakers you're driving through, those could easily
influence the sound. Very
easily influence the sound. You could change it out by just a small little spec, maybe even moving the mic. You have a completely different guitar sound. So these you can load into a cab IR that's going to be a standard sound of whatever the speaker is that you like. Or again, you can run it through a head. You can run it through your favorite speaker cabinet, and you have basically
they had the Synergy switchable head where you
correct. So they have a Synergy head that you can swap in the VCR tape basically, and they act just like the parent amps, and they're incredible. I think it's one of the coolest things out there. They're a little pricey, but for the person that may want just switchable things and not have a fucking closet full or a room full of
close
amps,
to authenticity rather than
it's the closest you're going to get
copycat
rather than a copy of the modelers. They're made by the people that made them. I mean, Friedman,
it's
Soldano,
got their
these big
seal
amp
of
companies.
approval.
This is what my shit sounds like. This is the best you're going to get without buying my fucking amp. I promise you.
Well, you are buying their amp through Synergy.
Through Synergy. So it's a really cool.
They get a kickback.
Really cool setup. I think it's awesome. I've seen him on the market. Steve Vai kind of inspired me to talk about it because I heard his and it was great. He had nothing but great things to say about it. When you got a legend like that, he doesn't need your endorsements. He doesn't need your money, I would think personally.
Oh, yeah.
So for him to say this is the product to get, I fully 100% support that. And
he's the guy I actually look to how I mod my guitars. Actually, the back plates on floating bridge guitars.
Okay.
That's where I got it from. Steve I. He velcros them on. Now the latest thing, and I'm like, this motherfucking genius. Even though it's so simple, he got rid of the Velcro. He put magnets. It's magnet onto the back guitar now. I'm like, what a genius, revolutionary. All right.
Actually, some cool artists. So, Steve Vai, obviously, Jim Majura. She is a guitar player of Evanescence.
Stalker of Ola, England.
Stalker of Ola, England. Most notably, Javier Reyes. So he's a guitar player of Animals as Leaders. That's not Tosin Abasi.
Yeah, the other Tosin Abasi.
Andy Williams, guitar player of Every Time I Die. So they're really cool products. There's obviously a lot of people endorsing them. I would love to check one out someday. So hopefully at some point
never
get
seen
my
one in
hands
the
on
wild.
one. I have not either. It's pretty much ordering from Synergy. They may sell them on a place like Sweetwater. I'm not 100% sure just
We
because
can
they're a little out of the range.
June.
We will. Yeah. We're at Gear
So you guys
Fest.
both like this idea? It's like
I think it's
good-
awesome.
good.
You just swap out your amps.
It's
with
awesome.
a click of a button.
If I had the money, yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was listening to that whole thing. My instrument is a wood shell that we used
Would you
to put
replace it with
fucking
digital?
pig skin on, and then you would tighten it down, and then you would hit it. I hit it with a stick.
Now, would you
I hit my
replace it
wooden shell with skin
with
over
plastic
top of it with a stick.
and
That's my
polyurethane?
instrument. So like following that bullshit, that was a lot for me. I'm sorry.
Have you considered it? And when that
But I'm
has
glad you're excited.
copper wires sending out to a little head unit, and that goes out to an interface, and it's all electronic.
Yes, triggers. So
Oh.
for example, it's
I understand the concept. I
Trigger
totally do.
sort of thing.
But I guess I'm not. I'm trying to follow why this is like. How is this? You're saying it's different from your Kemper or modulators because it's more accurate.
It's more accurate
it's
because the
made
amp
by-
builders themselves.
So this Kemper has nothing to do with any of those companies. It's just Kemper, and anyone who so happens to own that equipment can record and mimic the sounds
Yes.
onto that device.
Okay.
This device is made by the manufacturers saying that, yes, this is our tone,
Okay.
seal of approval.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you're kind of guessing whether that person actually owned all that
Okay.
equipment and
Yeah.
just made a footprint of it, or fingerprint
So-
of it.
So Mesa, you're aware of that brand? That's the amps we used back in the day.
Someone could
Don't talk
bullshit
down to
you.
me.
Mesa amps.
I will
I'm not
fight
talking
you.
down.
Yes.
So basically, Mesa's not one of them. But imagine Mesa saying, "Hey, here's the circuit board and the
Here's the
Here's how my
logistics
amp is made."
to get the sound. This
Correct.
is your. Now
This is
you
how you
have
do
it.
it.
So I'm assuming this company Synergy bought it.
But now instead of this big ass amp,
Sure.
like they get a partnership with these amp
Yes.
companies. Instead of this big ass amp, you have a module like this that you could pop those in and out.
It's wired exactly
whatever you wanna do.
by the company, whereas this is just copying the sound of
Right.
the company.
I got you.
And that's why it would be different. It's something, again, I could pop out and I want to sound like a Bogner
Yeah.
Uberschall today. Here's my little module, which I can do on the modelers, but this was made by the company, not a copy of the sound of
Okay.
that amp with my speakers too. This is the amp of that company. They put their stamp of approval on this. I'm not popping this in. Now I have a Bogner
in the
Uberschall
long
without
run-
a big ass head and all this space that I've taken
You,
up.
you
having
will
all these
still
amp
have
amps.
it. You will still have it, but you will,
Correct.
in
No,
the long
don't
run,
get me wrong.
save money.
The modelers are great.
You will save money in the long run buying these little lunchbox modules that you will install into your head.
instead of buying the big
and
ass
you have
amps.
and you have only one big ass head, and you've got tiny little lunchboxes all over the place that you could just install and have all these tones and sounds.
For example, Steve Vai himself. So they do sell them at Sweetwater. Steve Vai, his little module, $399. Where that amp that is made from that is $2,000 fucking dollars. So you have to buy some of the stuff up front to be able to take those modules, to be able to put those in and actually use each one of those modules. But once that initial investment's done, now you're spending $400 for a brand new amp versus $2,000 for a brand new amp. So that's the convenience of this. While modelers are great, if that's your thing, go after that. That is certainly my thing right now. But to be able to have that technology to just pop in this different amp company without spending $2,000+, the Friedman amps are $3,000 or $4,000. But for $400, I could just pop it in, and I'm done. I've got my Friedman amp right here now, and it's going to sound exactly like the other amp.
That's interesting. I wonder if these companies, like, is it just gonna like what is the end game? With
I don't think there is one. I think it's ever growing.
The thing is it's competing against these copycats, whereas they're going, this is authentic. And there are people who are a little bougie being like, I don't want the copycat.
No, musicians are particular, bro.
Yeah, and they're like, I want the name brand that I know and trust.
Yeah.
And they made it, they worked with this company, Synergy, to make it happen.
It's just, there's always something brand new coming out with these
technologies
with the type of gear. It's just like
it's
always something new.
It's the best and worst part about being a gear nut and a gear fanatic is
you're constantly
the best thing
buying shit.
is I always have something that's fucking cool, innovative, and out there. But the problem is I'm on the brink of a divorce and everything else because I don't stop spending fucking money.
You should probably just cut that card
I gotta stop.
bro.
Yeah, I gotta stop.
So that's awesome.
Wait for proofs it though.
I wanted to get into my segment unless you guys wanted to touch on
go
something
for
else.
it.
So I got a little mini game that I want to get into. Since last week we did your brands, kind of like a versus mode with Ibanez versus PRS, and I mean Daniel just on fire, killed it. I'll just sit here.
The can of beans.
Use your periffs. Here we go.
And I fart in your face. Oh, watch your back, watch your back. Watch your back.
What? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling Billy. No, you fucking flew back into your monitor.
Are your bangs in the way? Fuck, dude.
No, I said I farted in your face with a can of beans I won, and you
bitch.
slammed into your monitor.
Finally, we get the high five.
What the fuck?
Finally, we get the high five.
Well, that was a good show. What the fuck, dude?
Fucking Billy scaring the shit out of me.
Okay, so are you afraid? Do you have any peripheral vision?
20 minutes after the fact.
I saw your hand.
He scared me, even though
I thought he was.
I saw your hand and him flying around in his chair, and I was like, holy shit.
God, sure. That's funny. Maybe your frames are getting in the way.
Oh, and also my hair is actually right where you are.
Your bangs are in the way. So we're starting off right. Anyways, Ibanez versus PRS. We did that last week with the audio clips, and Daniel came out victorious. You lost. Anyways, so this week I want to do...
I demand a recount.
A different version of the quiz show. And it centers, because we talked about gaming already. So this is actually a suggestion from my brother who listens, and he thought this would be a cool idea.
Hi, brother who listens.
And the name of the quiz show is it a Call of Duty map or is it a metal song?
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Is this IKEA or Swedish death metal?
So I'm going to give you names. Mind you, Call of Duty maps go back since, what, 2003? The first Call of Duty?
Yeah.
And there's been a million games, right? I looked up all the maps, the list. It was seemingly endless. And they all, like, I looked at a lot of the names and I was like, dude, this could work. Like, because a lot of them, like, it could be a metal song. And you also, so I'm going to basically just say a name, and it's either going to be a Call of Duty map, it's going to be a metal song, or both.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. And so what I want you guys to do, if you guys want to take a second, pull up the notepad. Okay. So that's the game. And there is not a repercussion, but whoever wins out of the two of you, you get a little prize. Little prize. Okay.
You're going down this time, Dillwob.
All right. So we're going to get into it. Is it a Call of Duty map or is it a metal song? All right. So I'm going to say the word. You're going to write it down, and then we're going to go over it. So the first one is Poison. Is it a Call of Duty map? Is it a metal song, or is it both?
I'm going to say both.
Both. Wow.
You sure?
I'm going to say both.
You locked in at both?
Yeah.
I'm locked in. You shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm going to win now.
Locked in at both?
I'm locked in.
I think if we're doing
I'm not locked in at both.
What do you got?
I got
your
metal
answer?
song.
So Daniel says both. You say only a metal song.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're halfway there. Daniel is on the board.
Damn it.
I know Poison is a metal song.
So, yeah, Poison is a metal song by who? Do you remember?
Poison.
Either Poison or Motley Crue. Yeah, I know the lyrics. You're poison.
No, Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. Oh, yeah.
Cooper,
you're fucking poison. That's the song I'm thinking of.
Is my audio low?
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Is my audio low? I'm trying to figure it. Let me
I hear you
up.
pretty well in my ears.
That.
Oh, that? Yep.
All right, cool.
You're
so
poison.
So that was the Alice Cooper song.
Alice Cooper.
So we got Will Bob on the board with one here.
You're fucking poison.
All right, cool. So let's see. The next one. And it was a Call of Duty map in Call of Duty 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you remember Call of Duty 3?
Modern Warfare 3?
No.
like
Call of Duty.
Call of
3.
Duty 3.
Yeah,
Shit.
it was Call of Duty
It's
1, 2,
been a
and
long
3.
time. That was PS3.
And then it went to Modern Warfare after 3.
It was PS3, maybe PS2. Call of Duty. 3?
No, it was because it was in that generation. So it was Xbox 360 and PS3. Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember that.
Nope, me either. It was a long time ago. So the next name, get ready to write it down. Showdown. Call of Duty map, metal song, or both.
Both. I'm going to say that. I don't need to record it.
I gotta go with both as well.
Both?
There's got to be a metal song out there called
There
Showdown.
is. But I don't know. Call of Duty map sounds like
And it sounds like a Call of Duty map.
That is incorrect. That is a Call of Duty song. Did you
It's a
hear
Call
that?
of Duty song.
There's a band called The Showdown. I don't remember if...
There we go. Hold on. Play it again.
Let's do this.
There we
Let's
go.
do
All right,
this.
cool. Just making sure that works. All right. So you both were wrong in that one.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
guess The Showdown never had a self-titled song named Showdown.
Stupid. All right. So the next one, Call of Duty map or metal song. This one. Let's see, because you guys are on different degrees of music sometimes. I'm interested to see
Very.
if anybody can catch us. High Rise.
Call of Duty.
Ooh.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty? Incorrect. That is
What?
actually both.
Both.
It's Call of
What?
Duty and it's... Remember that?
Orgy? What is this?
From Zombies and Call of Duty. You remember
Oh.
that sound
So
effect?
Who's the band?
Oh, that is Eye the Breather. Right there.
Ah.
Yeah, that's Eye the Breather.
Okay.
I was a fan of Eye the Breather back
I
in the
listened
day.
to them a little bit. They were big when I probably joined your band, but like, I don't.
See, now this
I don't
is
remember
awful
that.
for me. I'm terrible at song names. Or titles, rather. Like, I can remember
That's
the
why
tunes.
I thought I would win, but clearly I'm getting my ass kicked already.
No,
One
it's
to nothing.
1-0. It's
1-0.
1-0.
You're getting your
good.
ass
Coming back.
So
handed
this,
to you.
this one's tough because you might, no, I don't know. Let's see.
Okay.
Call of Duty map, metal song, WMD, those initials.
Call of Duty map.
Call of Duty.
Both.
Make it death.
Warpath.
Warpath. Sounds like an old metal band.
Sounds like 80s.
They sound old. They have sub like 500 views on this video, but I took
Wow.
I took it. I know it's completely subjective and it's on me. I'm sure I'm getting most of this wrong, but it is my quiz. So we got 1-0 still, and we're in the 5th round. This is not looking good.
Kicking your ass, Billy.
Yeah. You got a few more. You got a little ways to go, so you could probably make up the ground here. So we got the next name, Lockdown. Lockdown.
Both.
Both?
I'm going to say Call of Duty.
Locked in there?
Yeah, locked in.
Locked in.
Okay. Where is that? Sorry, right here.
Fuck.
Both.
Damn
Both.
it. Caught up.
Obituary, dude.
Obituary.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't listen to them, but I found it.
Old as shit.
And it matched the name of the Call of
Yeah,
Duty map.
lockdown, yeah.
And I don't even remember that map. It was in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah. I can almost see like the like sand colored writing behind it. I could be completely fucking wrong, but I feel like I remember that as a COD map, and then it just sounded like that's got to be a metal song.
I can't recall.
Been a theme going.
But there's
with
so
both.
many. There's so many of these games, and there's so many of these maps.
There
It's hard to keep
is,
track of.
especially some of the older Call of Duties. Like
You have
I didn't
to-
even know Call of Duty 3 had like a multiplayer or any type of map names to their names.
I'd almost say metal is synonymous with gaming.
Wait, did you get this right?
He did.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
1-1.
Sorry, there's a lot going on here.
1-1.
So 1-1, easy. Okay,
Love.
but there's a lot to
Yeah,
go
we're on
here.
love.
Okay, next name, Call of Duty map, metal song, Nuketown 2025.
2025
That's
2025.
just
Metal
Call of
song.
Duty. Call of Duty.
metal song.
It's Call of Duty. Only.
Call of Duty,
Metal song.
metal song. Will Bob 2-1.
Woo!
Wow.
I know that map. It's got a bunch of mannequins
2025.
everywhere.
I remember Nuketown, but it's Nuketown 2025.
Yeah, that was in what was it? Black Ops.
Four?
3?
3.
Black Ops 2. No,
Two.
was
Okay.
it 2? It might have been
Wow.
3. I might have wrote
I
that.
think-
what's
I
the
think
song?
They remade it. They
Oh
remade
no, it
a
was
few
just Call of
times.
Duty. It wasn't both. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it was just called Nuketown. I mean, so I didn't play much of Black Ops, but I did play
'Cause
Black
it's
Ops
future
4 with my
Modern
brother.
Warfare, but it's future.
Yeah, well, I
not
played Black
correct.
Ops
It was
4
alright.
with my brother, and I remember it being called Nuketown, but damn, the little
I mean, no
2025, I thought you had
no one
me.
would
That's
say the
why.
whole
You had
That's
me
why.
there.
I was trying to do a little reverse.
Wow.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of worked
Wow.
out. That's awesome.
2-1. All
All
right.
2-1, Daniel. Still got a few more here. This next one is
Can of beans are tasty, Billy.
White Walls.
That's metal.
Okay, well, that's definitely a song, but I don't know a map. I'm going to go metal song.
Just metal. That's what I'm going with.
Metal.
Metal.
Is a metal song.
BT Bam.
No.
Well, it's a BT Bam song.
It is a BT Bam song. You
Still
would-
remains, man.
Oh,
Still
wow.
remains.
Wow.
That was probably
But
before
it is
BT Bam.
yeah, it is a BT Bam.
I was more on the
That's
wide wall.
So now it's that was Billy.
No.
No, that was high. So it's
Tied.
2-3.
2-1. 3-1.
I'll
3-2.
count it.
3-2.
I'm writing it down.
3-2.
I'll count it.
Yeah, 2-3.
All right.
Yeah.
So you remember those zombie maps? How they had like really strange names?
Uh-huh.
I need
Sure.
because I wasn't sure if you guys played zombies at all with.
Not
I
Call
don't
of
remember
Duty,
the map
really?
names, but I did play them.
All right. Well, there's one name here, and it's either a song or it is a Call of Duty map,
Or both at
or
this point.
both. Itch to Deer Way. Itch to Deer Way.
Is
That's
that
the best I can say. It.
ICH?
That's yes.
So it's German.
I don't know.
Ish Deer Way.
Each
German
to
metal band?
Deer Way.
Fuck it. I'm going with both.
I'm
Both?
going to say that it's metal.
Both
Woo!
metal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, I was-
He's
I'm
clarifying.
so
He's
sorry.
clarifying.
I'm so sorry.
Both and metal.
Both.
Both and just metal
And
for
just
me.
metal.
Billy's dumb. It's a song. That's it. It's not a map.
Damn it.
Because that means like I something, and I'm like that doesn't make sense in the map.
4-2.
There we go. All right.
It's
cool.
German. Ish. It's I think they pronounce it like
Huh?
Ish liebe dich.
Oh, I don't know what you're doing. I'll
Speaking
pick through
German,
Ralph.
I said I love you.
Great.
So the next one, Call of Duty map or metal song, Icebreaker. Icebreaker, no spaces.
I'm gonna say both.
Both. Billy,
Mm.
come on, Mike. Metal song, Call of Duty map, Icebreaker.
Icebreaker.
It sounds like a thrash metal song. Also sounds like a winter map.
I'm going to go
Yeah,
with just
yeah.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, both. It is Call of Duty.
Woo!
Damn.
4-3.
I was thinking of like Trapped Under Ice, old
Oh,
school,
yeah,
hard
yeah,
school.
yeah.
That's what in my head I was like, they would have had a song like that, right?
Let's do this.
Exactly.
do this.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
do this.
I saw that, and like I swear, something like all of the maps that I was looking at, I was like, it could be anything, but I couldn't pick like super duper iconic ones.
So we're 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm still ahead.
So now you can tie it up. That's going to throw a whole monkey wrench because we're going to do sudden death if that's the case. So Daniel, you're ahead.
Yep. By 4 or
4-3.
Yep.
Billy he can tie it up. This is the last one. So
Uh-oh.
all right, here we go. This next one is Crash.
Call of Duty.
Both.
Call of Duty,
Yep.
both.
Yep.
Who's gonna win? It is Call of Duty.
Let's do this.
Damn it.
I'm
job.
2 ahead of you, boy.
Fucking winning.
These can
Wow.
of beans are
Yeah.
delicious.
No, that's it. That's it. Daniel wins 5-3.
Jesus.
You had a chance to tie it up, and I definitely would have had to figured it out at that point.
Do this.
So
Fucking
Daniel wins.
Oh my god.
Daniel wins a small prize because he's proven himself to be a gamer. This is definitely something you're gonna wear. So why don't you show that to the camera?
Hell yeah. I'll say it out loud once I see it. It's gray. It's a
Yeah.
sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
did you get in this size?
Dude.
Billy would have never won this.
That's why I got it, because no one's gonna be able to wear it.
You knew Billy wouldn't win?
Yeah, exactly. Dude. No, I got it because I was
I
like,
definitely wouldn't fit in that small.
dude, I went into GameStop. I was like, do you guys have like any really on the nose cringy shit that like no one buys? And they're like, look in the box. And it was just like an on sale box. I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude. Yeah,
It's awesome.
It's not PlayStation, man.
You don't know who wears a small.
I don't own I used to.
Little petite man. I don't know.
He'll work his way into it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm running.
See it on the next episode
5 days
of
a
the
week I'm
Backline
running.
Podcast.
I'm gonna need that back. I'm gonna return it. No, that's you. All right, yeah. So that was my little mini segment there. Is it Call of Duty map or is it a metal song?
I'm excited now because I've seen games of is it a Swedish death metal song and those are nuts. Swedish death metal or IKEA furniture. That is so good.
That's a good one.
Dude, that's tough.
But for us, it would suck because I know more Swedish death metal than you ever would.
If you gave me a week, no, there's a lot though.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. For us and our sake, I wouldn't dabble in that. But it gives you an idea.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's so obscure.
Yeah, exactly.
We can do some research.
Right.
Awesome. Well, that about does it for us today. Thank you guys, anybody who's been watching. Once again, thank you for anybody that shared, comment, liked, or subscribed. Please keep it up. We really do appreciate it. If you have any comments or any other type of games that you would like to see, please comment to us either on the Facebook page for any one of us, our Instagrams. I am at Billy something. Shit, I'll figure that out at some point.
Don't plug
Link
it
will
then.
be in the description.
Don't plug it. But yes, please check us out 6 a.m. in the morning.
6 a.m. for all podcast platforms, 9 a.m. for the YouTube on Wednesdays. Every week on Wednesday, you should be seeing something from us, unless otherwise. And
Noted.
thank you. Signing out. Chief Redbeard, Billy, the names, these guys. Let's do this.
Nico.
Well done.
And let's take us home. Let's do this. Let's fucking do this.